Insert disc 2.
Tonight, Aaron, we sent out the call on the Discord channel. And we said, do you have any questions for the Amigos to talk about during Insert Disc 2? And we got a couple questions.
All right.
So this week's Insert Disc 2, submitted by you.
Submitted for your approval.
The Discord user.
I like it. Q&A.
Some guy named Nightenstaff.
Oh, God.
Said,
you're starting off with that one?
Remember when I put you in those head scissors and almost knocked you out, or when you pile drove me on concrete and almost killed me?
Yeah, it was great. I superplexed him off my... Ever tell you my superplex
So this
story?
is Brent, in case you didn't know. So talk about your and Brent's history with wrestling.
Well, I liked wrestling, and Brent, I don't know if he ever liked it, but it didn't matter. I was bigger than him. So I used to beat the tar out of him. And my favorite Brent beaten stories, I've got several.
That's a BBS, Brent beaten story.
My mom had a dresser, and then there's a little aisle, and then the bed. And I would get Brent up on that dresser and suplex, which means I'd pull him up over my head because it seemed awesome. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it through. And so Brent fell comfortably on the bed, and I fell in the floor from the dresser and mauled myself. That's one thing I remember. The thing he's talking about is the wrestlers do this thing where they grab a guy by the legs, and they fall backwards, and the wrestler shoots across the ring and maybe hits a turnbuckle, right? So I did that, and Brent just came up and had his knees on my shoulders, and just headbutted me in unconsciousness.
Oh.
I'll never forget that. I accidentally rammed his head into the oven. I think I concussed him.
Was the oven open?
No.
Was it
and he was, I know what it was.
Was it a Hansel and Gretel type situation?
I know what it was. He had hurt I think he'd broken his leg or his arm. And I slammed his arm into the oven like the Anderson.
While it was broken?
Yeah.
Wow. You're just like, remember when Andre was beating up on Hulk in WrestleMania 3?
Yeah, I didn't. My favorite thing, though, and this is particularly vile. People are gonna not look at me the same way. We used to have one of these treadmills.
Okay,
you know, they still have them.
Yeah, I've got one in the other side of the basement.
And so I got some belts, and I belted Britt's legs together, right? And I stood him on the treadmill, and I started slowly turning it up. His little feet were going like this, trying to keep up. And eventually, he fell over and slid off the back of the treadmill. So he's laying there.
It's no wonder he hates you.
I'm not done. So then I had a bunch of shoes, and so I just put the shoes on the treadmill, and they'd shoot over and hit him in the head. It was great. So yeah, I did some. I'll admit, what are you gonna do?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But I mean, I apologized.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
To be fair, he's given me mental anguish ever since. And I would be sitting in my room, and I'd hear him go, "Mom, Aaron's punching me." I'd be like, "What? What just happened?" Mom'd be like, "Aaron, you're a crowd, and I'm sick of this crowd." I'd be like, "No." It's like Ric Flair. No, begging off. So it's not like he didn't do anything. He had a headbutt and leg scissors that were unbelievable. He's hurt me plenty of times. So.
When was the last? Do you remember the last time you had an epic wrestling showdown?
It was right before ARG the other day. No. That'd be a pathetic wrestling display. I told you.
Over the arcade.
We're doing Vector. He's like, no. We're in Super Nintendo, which had to win. We went to war.
The next question comes in from Duncan Styles.
I've heard of him, yeah.
He says, what are your thoughts on movie streaming services? Used to be Netflix was the only option, but now content is starting to get split up by creator. We have to either pick and choose or subscribe to them all.
You want to go first on this one?
Sure.
I just rattled on for a while.
So my wife and I actually subscribe to what seems like an infinite number of subscription services. We not only get your Netflix, but we also get the Amazon Prime. We get the Hulu.
I've got all those.
Okay, so those are your big three, I would say. I'd say that. But in addition to that,
plus you get Amazon comes with your Prime.
Yeah, we don't get it just for that, but it's sort of an added bonus.
Though.
Yeah,
right.
We get. I like the anime now and again, so we get the Crunchyroll.
Wow.
We get.
Go ahead. I'm surprised. I didn't know you were in anime that much. I didn't know. I don't.
You
know
really don't. You really don't read the Discord, do you?
I tried.
We just had this huge conversation about anime.
I saw you click in, but
you're like, I like Ninja Scroll, and then you disappeared for 6 months.
I was working. I've been working all week. I work.
So we get that, and then Eep, she has an undying love for Korean drama. Korean drama is big all over Southeast Asia. And so we get this channel called Drama Fever that we subscribe to that has the latest and greatest Korean dramas. Let's see.
Wow, you win. I don't got that.
I think those are the only ones that we currently pay money for. We've got a billion other ones, but those are the ones we pay for.
I'm one of the first three, and that's all I pay for now. I do subscribe to a wrestling website that has audio, puts out audio, but I'm not going to count that as
and you subscribe to the network, right?
And then, yes, I forgot about the network. That's right.
That would be the WWE network.
Yeah. So to answer the rest of that question, he's right. Things are being splintered. I just read today that as the Walt Disney streamer spins up, that the Ant-Man and the Wasp Marvel movie will be the last Marvel property to air on Netflix.
Interesting.
They're pulling all their properties to the Disney, which I'm sure Star Wars will be there too. And now that Disney's is a big player, plus they've got their enormous library of Disney stuff and their network shows and probably some other stuff. I think he's right. I think it's going to be further splintered, and I think what inevitably will happen is piracy will go back up like it did. I used to download TV shows and stuff I wanted to watch. Man, I hardly ever do it now because I don't need to. You know, because I'm happy to pay. It's a pain in the butt to go searching for this stuff, you know.
What I would really like to see. I mean, you're right. I think that it will encourage more piracy. I don't think that piracy is necessary. I think that Netflix has made and streaming services. I think there's a whole generation of people that have hacked Amazon Fire Sticks that are already doing all this stuff because for $35 you get access to whatever you want anyway if you want to go that route. I think
the clock is ticking on that stuff. I really do. And trust me, I was one of the first people. I was the first person I knew that used Kodi when it was back when it was Xbox Media Center. I didn't know anyone else that used it that was local. And I was the first person I knew. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I was the first person I knew that added all the channels to Kodi and did all that. I was way ahead of the curve, and I did it, and it was okay. You're right, it's great. It's highly illegal, but it's great. It's easy. And they've made it so any doofus can do it.
So I don't think we're going to see the return of like people rating news groups to actually download things. I don't think you're going to see that because it's way too easy to find shady streaming sites where you don't have to download gigabytes and gigabytes of stuff.
For now, that's the difference. I think I can see a future where that stuff becomes more. You got to give me some time.
Okay,
here.
I'll give you time.
Why do people use a hacked Amazon Fire Stick to do that? What's the number one reason? Because it's easy, right?
Yeah.
And like Granny can do it, Mommy can do it. There was a time where it was not that easy, and what made it that easy were these media centers. Which, by the way, they don't want this to happen with their software, but they don't have a choice. There are variants that's hacked and whatnot. You're not too far off from a time where these just go away. Like, what would happen if Amazon properly locked down the Amazon Fire Stick? They'd be screwed. They could push to an update any day. They could do that. You know, you can't do anything to the Roku box. They don't do it. They have no. There's no. So at that point, you're limiting it to the PC.
Right.
And if they lock down a lot of these streaming services, I don't know how much you pay attention to this stuff, but they've already taken a bunch of these. The big streaming services usually come off of file storage sites, right? I don't know, like Kim.com is a prime example.
Something like that.
Mega Uploads. I just saw just yesterday that one of the big ROM sites got taken down by Nintendo. I mean, the big one that you can get a bunch of stuff off of. So this is still happening. It's in flux, and I can tell you that Hollywood, if you watch the stuff and watch the news, Hollywood hates these streamings and these media players. They hate them, and when they hate something, they've got the money, they've got the law, and they can step in. It's been done before. They've done it before with stuff. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but I think there's a time limit on these. And really, piracy's gotten to the point. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe the reason I hushed you on the news groups is I don't think that ever went away. But the amount of people that know how to do that is so small that it's sort of irrelevant.
I just think that, just like the news groups, there's going to be ways to access streaming sites that your average person isn't going to be able to do, and your average person will end up paying money or whatever. It's not going to be as easy as it is right now with Amazon Forever. I agree with you with all of that.
Yeah.
I just think if you look at the total amount of illegal content being consumed, it's going to be much larger going streaming rather than downloading going forward. Because if you've got news groups that are serving up this content, there's going to be some other dark net site streaming that content too.
Also, the recent net neutrality changes in the states could affect that sort of thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's let's just say to be determined.
It's a very good question. Yeah. Thank you, Duncan, for submitting that.
Yeah.
Lefarius asks an equally deep question. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck?
You want to tackle that one out of the gate here?
Well, what I was thinking about was, aside from this particular, I can't even remember what you call a tongue twister. Have you ever heard a beaver called a woodchuck? Aside from that, because that's what a beaver is, right?
I think in cartoons, I think I've heard it referred to as woodchucks. Are they the same? I mean, they're portrayed as the same way, so I would assume they are.
And of course, there's woodchuck cider. I forgot about that. Were you ever a purveyor? You don't really drink.
I've never. I do like cider.
Do you like hard cider?
Are you kidding me?
I guess if it's got hard in it, you're
There's
on board.
a woodchuck in the woods, but I mean, I don't never had wood cider.
Woodchuck cider, yeah.
I had
Before Angry Orchard, that was always the thing, like at parties and stuff in college. Woodchuck,
I know, I haven't had that. Okay. But in terms of the woodchuck question, it's hard to say how much wood a wood could chuck. But one thing's for certain: if there's wood there, he'll chuck it.
That's true. That's true.
I say chuck it to that question, if you know what I'm saying.
Tapes from the Crypt asks, what do you think is the best sandwich ever?
Oh boy, now this one you should definitely go first. I'm going to need a minute to ponder this.
I am sort of a boring, this is a kind of a boring standard answer, but for me, there's nothing better. I mean, as far as what could I eat almost every day and not get tired of it? Philly cheesesteak.
That's it. Teresa's sort of like that, but she likes the chicken version or whatever.
There's just something about the way that the bread, the toasting bread and the melting cheese and the mayonnaise, really the steak has little to do with it. I just like the grease from the meat when it meshes with the mayonnaise and the cheese and the bread. I'm
going to give a different sort of answer.
Okay.
Because when he says, what's not the sandwich, right? I'm not going to go for if I could sit here and say, okay, my all-time the best sandwich I ever had was this, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with sort of what you said. What could I eat day in, day out from now until at the end of time? All right. And this is a talent that's been honed through years of poverty. And the answer is what we like to call the old West Virginia steak. Bologna sandwich.
Yep, I knew it.
You get you a couple pieces of white bread, including the end piece that no one likes, doesn't matter. You get you go down the Dollar Tree.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. For example, ask me what I had for lunch today. Go ahead.
What'd you have for lunch today?
Bologna sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
I went down to the Dollar Tree on Tuesday, which Dollar Tree is that place that sells everything for $1, including food. I got me a pack of bologna.
They've got a nice kind of refrigerated section in there now.
I got me a pack of bologna. That's $1. I got me a pack of bread. That's $1.
Is that about a half
loaf?
Full loaf of bread and $1.
I got me a thing of cheese. I mean, it's got like 20 slices,
yeah.
right? How much? $1. All right. I got some mayo. Okay, how much? $1. $4. Right. I got me some chips. That's $1. That's $5. And then I got me some Dollar Tree pop.
Oh yeah,
$6,
and that's probably pretty big bottle of pop.
That's right, 3 liter.
Yeah, 3 liter for $1.
That's for the week.
Yeah,
so every day at lunch this week that I was in the shop, bologna, sandwiches, and chips and a drink. I'm done. There's my answer. Bologna sandwich.
So you don't get tired of you wouldn't get tired of.
Doesn't matter if you get tired of it because you're cheap. That's part of it.
I would put bologna above Vienna sausages.
I love Vienna. I'll tell you, people brag on treat meat.
I don't mind treat.
Let me tell you something. You'll understand this. Remember when you were low carbon, right? And all you could eat was just meat. And you're like, man, I'm so sick of this meat. You never thought it would happen. I'm sick of steak or chicken. You couldn't eat chicken, but could you eat chicken?
Yeah, you can eat chicken.
Okay, so I get sick of everything, and so it was working. So you got to sort of keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I would get for a while. I went through kielbasa was my thing, and then I was like, I'm gonna get me some treat, and I would get the treat because you can't have bread. You chop that treat up and you grill it. You know. Fabulous.
I do like treat, and I don't mind Spam either.
No, I like them both.
Yeah.
They're both fine.
Yeah.
But people hate these.
But I do not like Vienna sausages, and I'll tell you why.
I do.
There's just something about them being served at room temperature
Who does that? I warm them up.
See, I always just try to eat them out of the can.
You can, but that's not the way you do it.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You take them out of the can and you clean them off because they get that weird gelatin stuff on
Maybe
them.
I'm just not doing it right. That's
what you do is here's what I used to do. Right, here's a little tidbit.
Put them in the colander?
No. Huh?
That's the thing you wash the lettuce in?
No. You actually take and wash off the individual sausages.
Right.
And then you put them on your plate. You warm these things up for about 30 seconds. The piece of bread, you're done.
Piece of bread, yeah.
That's
so
it.
I would just eat them wrong. I'll have to give
You
them
can eat them like that, but I don't recommend it.
Like I said, the gelatinous stuff.
Did you eat Spam and stuff raw?
No.
I mean, it's the same stuff, pretty much. So, yeah. I like Vienna sausages. They got barbecue ones now. Oh, yeah, they're good. They're not bad. Even the kid likes them. Tree hates them. Good question. That was a good question.
Yeah. And Tapes also asked a quick follow-up. Do you have any Cowboys predictions after the first preseason game?
I haven't watched the preseason game because I never pay attention to the preseason. I don't usually pay attention to football until right before our draft, which we should mention that we will be having our fantasy football draft sometime the weekend of the 26th. We're very excited, aren't we, Bub? We'll talk about it.
We may stream a little bit of it out.
We're going to have it right here in the studio. And I think Hose will be in attendance. Maybe it might just be me and you. We'll just shoot a show. We'll just load up Madden. But I predict this is going to be. You know what I predict about this NFL season? It's already off to a bad start. So I predict a lot of controversy. I predict record low ratings. I predict a lot of news coverage that you're going to get sick of. I'm already sick of it. I predict a lot of stupid, blustering idiocy. All right, and the new rules that they've initiated, I predict they're going to suck. The not be able to duck your head down rule, which it seems insanity to me.
Yeah.
And how you're going to score from the 1 yard line is going to be interesting. So the NFL is in a bad position where they've got the safety of the players to keep in mind, but they've also got the popularity of the game. They've got to do a balancing act, much like the political aspects. They've got to balance that. They've got to balance all that stuff to keep their ratings high. These are a group of trillionaires that own these teams, but this is a tough time. And so the trillionaires will be taken to task, and we'll see what they come up with. I predict a pathetic failure. So, but that being said, I'm going to watch football. A lot of people I know have just stopped watching football. For true, do you know anybody that just quit when all this stuff, the national anthem and stuff came around?
No.
I know a ton of people, for real, and which is fine. They don't hassle me for watching them, and I don't. It does bother me to a certain degree, but it's not like I'm not going to stop watching. Because there's a lot of other crap the NFL players have done for years. They're murderers, rapists. They beat their family.
Right.
So, but I'm looking forward to a season that I hope is entertaining. And hopefully this stuff, there will be some sort of, they'll come to some sort of agreement and everybody can live with it.
I'm much more positive than you are. I look forward to football season every single year. I tell people baseball is my favorite sport, but I'm most devoted to the NFL because it's 16 games. It's easy to follow.
Plus, your fantasy team did great last year. You did for the first time out.
I'm looking forward to participating in the draft for the first time.
We're in the same division this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
I look forward to giving you the pounding every week. You'll probably take me to school.
I think you beat me once last year.
Football is something that my wife and I both really, really enjoy. It was the happiest day of our marriage when it finally clicked and she understood and she liked it. She puts on her Patriots jersey.
She may have a rough year.
Yeah.
Although they're picked to win the NFL again, but the lights coming on in their palm.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But I'm looking forward to it. I find that a lot of the controversy and stuff, it affects you only to the degree that you pay attention to it. If you flip on the game right before the coin toss, you can kind of minimize that.
It doesn't bother me one bit. What bothers me is the coverage mostly because they keep stirring it up.
Yeah.
If no one had cared about this a long time ago, no one would care now.
Right. So. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
Jason Warnes asks, I'm curious to know what your favorite modern video games are. What are some of the current games that are out right now that you enjoy?
Worthy. Is that cheat? God, modern games. I
can answer for you if you can't think of anything.
Go ahead.
Fire Pro Wrestling.
Fire Pro Wrestling is about and I say this sincerely. I'm not a gimmick, and you can ask both. I don't play hardly any modern games. There was a time where I did, but it's hard for me to find time to play games.
Well, you're already playing a lot of games for the multiple shows that you do every week, too.
Right. But I mean, let's face facts. Vic 20 Gorf doesn't take me that long to play, for example. But you know, I did spend a lot of time with Worthy, but I mean, I've got time to play a few games. But honestly, I look at what's out there. I don't know. I guess I became that guy that I just lost touch. I don't have a modern console. And the PC Steam is awesome. There's lots of what I'd like to try, you know, but it's just it's tough to find the time. I mean, I hate to say it, I never thought it'd be me. I never thought I'd be the guy that's like, I can't call you back or whatever. I didn't have time. But it's true. I mean, this week I've just been swamped in vacation. Summer's always a big deal. I never have the time to myself. And I spend a lot of time with my son. And my son plays way more modern games than I do. He's got the new
Switch.
Nintendo, and he's got a bunch of games for that he plays. They look good, but he's always playing them, so I never touch them. So I guess Fire Pro is probably the newest thing I play. What do you play? You play a lot of stuff.
Well, this summer, because I don't work during the summer, I have a lot more time to play stuff, and it's also the time where Steam puts on their big summer sale.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's a perfect storm for me to buy a bunch of stuff. 2 games that I've purchased and really enjoyed this summer. One is Horizon Chase Turbo, which we briefly played earlier this evening.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. No, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, as you can see behind us here. I've recently acquired a projector and a screen. I've been enjoying the big screen. Horizon,
awesome.
Yeah, Horizon Chase Turbo is an Outrun / Lotus inspired racing game with a bunch of different courses, a ton of unlockables. It's pretty cheap. I think I got it for about $15. If you're looking for a game that is kind of retro inspired, the graphics are kind of abstract. It's definitely not photorealistic, but it scratches that retro racing itch.
Does it have a mode where you can play a standard? Is it all automatic, or do you?
I believe that it's all automatic.
Yeah, I was just
there's 2-player. Head to head.
That's awesome. To split the screen.
Yeah, splits the screen.
Oh, that's tremendous.
It
looked good. I mean, as someone who doesn't play any modern games, it was very Lotus-y. It's like if Lotus and Outrun had sort of this abstract sun.
Right.
You know?
It kind of like mixed in with maybe Hard Drive and the abstractness of Hard Drive.
The graphics of the background stuff, they almost remind me of something like, what was that, Katamari Damacy or something?
Which I also love. So,
this is a perfect game for you, folks.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that. And also, surprisingly, I picked up on a whim, one of my favorite modern game community sites is Giant Bomb. And the head of that organization, Jeff, he just did this long stream in No Man's Sky. And this was a game that got totally panned on release.
It didn't deliver.
Yeah, and just, nobody had anything good to say about it. And I was like, well, I'm going to check this out because they just put out a new patch or whatever. And I started watching them, and I watched this thing for like an hour, and I said, boy, this looks like something that I could really get into because it's very open-ended, exploration, space base type game, like Elite, but it's got more depth, it's got more color. And so it was on sale on Steam for $30. I had a $20 gift card for my birthday, so I paid $10 for it. Totally worth it for $10, even for $30. I've definitely gotten my money's worth. It's a great game if you enjoy kind of Minecrafty like games, because there is a lot of crafting. It's a lot of like find this element, put them together, make something new. If that sort of thing interests you and you're also into the space exploration and trading aspects of Elite Dangerous, this is the game for you. Now, if you don't like that stuff, don't play it because the combat isn't great. There's kind of a kludgy interface in some parts, although it is pretty okay. It's fully playable with the controller, which is the big part. That like there are so many PC games that I would love to play, but I don't want to sit and I don't like lean forward experiences. I'm a lean back kind of guy. I want to have that controller in my head in the recliner, ready to go.
That's one thing that really bugs me when you have to pick up that keyboard.
Right.
It's the same thing when you're using like your Raspberry Pi or something. If everything's nice and smooth and streamlined, it's a real pleasant experience. But man, when you have to start fishing around for a USB keyboard and setting joysticks, that's just the Debbie Downer playing that stuff. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
The No Man's Sky, I remember when it was coming, the guy was making it. I was like, man, look at this thing. But I think that game fell victim to the old hype train. The guy making it, which was really basically one guy's project for a long time.
Yeah.
and it took him a while to get it out, and people were so fired up for it. He promised a lot of stuff that he just couldn't get in. When you're a small team or one guy, it's hard to deliver. I mean, you have to deliver something. He may have had certain things working, but maybe there were bugs. They just could not. There were things that could not be included, and when it came out, people were like, "Where's this? Where's this? Where's that?" You promised all that stuff, and he's like, "Well, it's coming. People don't want to hear it's coming. They want to wait forever." This patch, it's been out for how long? Has it been out now? A couple of years?
Yeah, a couple of years.
So it took this long for this patch to come out. I mean, it was probably worked on a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a beautiful game.
If you were scared of it the first time or you're put off by the first time, check out the Giant Bomb stream, Jeff Gerstmann's live stream of it. I think it gives you a good idea of what's going on. And if you do watch it, or if you do end up picking it up, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of it, and we can share tactics.
Very good.
We got one final question.
One question. All right. I'm ready.
Both Jason and Brutal Barracuda asked about this.
The double.
Okay,
go ahead.
What are some of your favorite board or card games?
That's a good question. Now that I have an opinion on.
I'm shocked.
I would say my favorite board game. Now we play a lot of German board games, don't we? Both. We did. We don't play.
You used to, and I used to kind of, but you were way into it for many a year.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy Power Grid, which is I think it's a really good game.
I love that game too.
I really enjoyed, and listen, this game gets crapped on. There's a couple games that they're simple but great, and I can't not like them. Settlers of Catan and its various incarnations. Ticket to Ride, simple. You can play it with your kid, but there's still strategy in it. It's a lot of fun. I like both those. In terms of card games, I was not a huge fan, but we did play. Oh boy, what is that card game? It's got Seafarers. No, it's
Dominion.
Dominion, that one. I thought Dominion's fun. Now they sort of went overboard, didn't they? But I thought that was a lot of fun in terms of card games. We play a game called at Matt and Chad's. It's called. House on the Hill.
Betrayal at House on the Hill.
At the House on the Hill. That's a lot of fun.
Explain that one.
It's a game where you all play explorers in this house. It's a haunted house. You're going through there, but eventually something's going to happen to one of you that makes you turn into the betrayer. And then at that point, it becomes a one versus all game. Where one person is usually trying to kill all the other characters. The other characters are trying to assemble something to kill the one guy or to get out or whatever. And it comes with a scenario book. And every time you play it, it's different. And it's sort of like, it's not a role-playing game. It sort of gives you a taste of, getting to be the bad guy.
If you don't have the imagination or the confidence to be a DM and you want to have that same kind of experience, this might be something that you can do.
The Arkham Horrors is a pretty fun game. Shadows over Camelot was a fun game that we played. I believe it was where you played it was a group effort to try to beat the game. Pandemic is a fun game.
Yeah.
I've played so many of these, and I know I'm forgetting tons of great ones. These are just ones that come off the top of my head. What do you got? Anything?
Yeah, well, there are some games. I've also played a ton of games, and a lot of the Euro style games. If I'm being honest, I could really take or leave. A big problem with the particular group of friends that we have is that, and it might have not used to be like this back in the day, but now, Jamie has so many games that they're playing a different game every week.
It's always been like that.
You never get a chance to really get and it's because Jamie and Brent, they operate on a whole different level. They can assimilate rules and systems just like that, and they don't have to play a game several times to get it. I'm not that way. So, I like to play a game a couple times and then make a decision on whether I like it or not. Probably my favorite Euro style board / card game is a game called Race for the Galaxy. I don't know if you ever played that one. But it's a game where you do have an opponent, but you're never attacking him. You're sort of building out your own play field while he is. It's a race to see who can get the most things the quickest. But it's very strategic. If you like, the art is fan-freaking-tastic. If you like a lot of 70s era sci-fi novel covers, it's very inspired by that. I love Race for the Galaxy. I love Power Grid. I like the Power Grid sequel called Power Grid Factory Manager.
Yeah. It's very, I agree.
Yeah.
I like that. Was fun.
Chad and I played this game called Thunderstone, which is a deck building game that's like Dominion, except not nearly as good. But we played it forever and ever and ever because we had all the expansions. This is a dungeon crawler. It's a game that you can play while you're talking about other things. We've discovered that Thunderstone, after many years of being worthless because they put out an advanced edition that corrected all the things that were wrong with it, the original version has finally started to gain in value and now is worth some money. So we're gonna get all of our Thunderstone cards together, sell them, and buy this new game that just came out. It's one of the hottest games in the world right now. It's called Gloomhaven. Have you heard of this before? Gloomhaven is a lot like Betrayal on House of the Hill, except it's a lot more RPG in it. You're going through different dungeons. There's again, just like the other game, there's a scenario book, so you don't have a DM. You're reading things, but it's a cooperative game. But it's also persistent. So you have your character. There's actually stickers that you put on your card as you gain new abilities and things like that. There's no dice involved. It's all card based for the way that you do your attacks and things like that. It looks really spectacular. I know that Hasifa in the Discord, he's got it. I've watched a bunch of reviews. If you get time, watch the Shut Up and Sit Down review of Gloomhaven. If you're into board games, it'll give you an idea of what it's about. It's a very heavy game. The game weighs over 20 pounds. There's a lot of stuff in it.
Stickers on the cards? How's that going to work out? They give you a big book of stickers?
Yeah, they give you a big book of stickers.
Oh, man.
And it's one of these games like Pandemic Legacy, where once you play it, you play through each thing, and there's like a billion different scenarios. But once you do reach the end, then that's it. You're done. Now what they've done is that you can buy removable sticker sets and all that stuff. But the thing is, Chad and I are probably going to play this thing, once or twice a month tops. We're never going to beat it. But yeah, I'm really excited about Gloomhaven. It's sold out everywhere right now. The MSRP is high. It retails at $130. But like I said, we're going to sell the Thunderstone collection and hopefully just trade over.
Something along those lines I should mention before we close this out. It's a game that I actually briefly owned. I ended up selling it, but it was called Heroes Quest.
Okay. So think about all the things that were awesome in your mind when you were originally reading about Hero Quest, because the Shut Up, Sit Down guy, who was a veteran Hero Quest player, he says it takes all of the best things about Hero Quest, except makes it even better.
Well, I liked Hero Quest. And boy, it had scenarios and whatnot. Of course, the Amiga has a couple games based on it. But I thought that was a lot of fun. It was similar. That's a long time ago too. Yeah. So that was, they were really coming out of the gate. I guess Dungeon was a game that was, they tried that D&D on a board game, in that as well. But sometimes it's fun to. I like a good horde strategy game sometimes. But sometimes it's fun to do the little role playing aspect game. What's the game that we played? Where you Puerto Rico. I want to mention that one as well. That's a tremendous game that we've played many times. That was fun. That's a straight up. There's no role playing in that. No. But that was a lot of corn. We've thrown a lot of good names out there. So there's some good stuff right there. I think if you're looking to, some of these are real classics. They're a lot of fun. You can play a lot of these online too with that tabletop simulator.
Or you can get together with your buddies on Brent Spielwelt, or there's a bunch of different sites where you can play asynchronously. You take a turn.
We used to play Puerto Rico by mail. Like email.
Yeah. So anyway,
good question,
Jason Brutal, and that is going to close things out. Before we leave, though, big news in the Insert Disc 2 world. We now have the official Insert Disc 2 voicemail. You can call this number and leave us a message, and we will play it on the air and answer your question.
Oh, this is sort of like we've got our own, like a telephone number.
That's right. It's a phone number.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, so you can give us a call at area code 304-729-4619, or you can do it like this: 30 I say go 19.
You make that up?
There's a website.
Oh, wow.
So you can give us a call. I'm not sure how international calling works with, this is just a regular phone number. So charges may apply if you're overseas, or if you can figure out a way to call for free. This is just a normal phone number though. So you can give us a call. Again, that number is 304-729-4619 or 30 I say go 19.
And we're going to play these on the air?
We will play this on the air, and then we'll answer the question. So hopefully you'll call us with an exotic accent. or you can put one on.
Like a pirate.
Yeah, like a pirate
or
accent.
some sort of, Swedish chef type thing.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
Exactly.
Good idea, Boat. This was such a brand new offer. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. So we will be back next week with another Insert Disc 2. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Adios.
When'd you pull that one out?